I was going to say, in the future where Madoka became a witch, Kyobi did not care what happened to humanity afterwards. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are back with another episode of Madoka Magica. We are on the penultimate episode of the original series. As I stated before, obviously there are the OVAs, and I believe the plan is to then, after that, go into the other series that also exists. You know, my completionist attitude is, we'll see everything, right? Unfortunately, that does not include the games, because this isn't a gameplay channel. And as oddly as it was when we tried to do the Iron-Blooded Orphans game story footage, I mean, to be fair, the only reason we even stopped is because Griffin left, and I don't think I could carry that story footage on my own. Not for nothing, pretty boring a lot of the time. Anyway, I'm not here to shit on some other reaction that we were doing. We have notes. A board does exist, and we have a comment. Probably we're not going to bring up the board today because looking at my notes here, there is no board changelog, which indicates that there was no change to the board. There will be a board linked in the description below where you can see last week's board, still the same as it ever was. But otherwise, let's go ahead and do the comment first. Canaris4 from the Patreon, from the episode I'd Never Allow That to Happen. You say that people would find the seemingly comatose bodies of magical girls whenever someone becomes a witch? That wouldn't happen, since ordinarily whenever a magical girl becomes a witch, their body becomes stuck in the witch's labyrinth. Madoka's gang had to drag Sayaka's body out of the labyrinth. So, in normal circumstances, the only time a normie would find a witch's body is if they themselves wandered into the labyrinth, which don't have a high chance of survival. It's odd that Time Travel Girl is the only black-haired person so far in this anime. Not that I'm putting much significance to it, just seems like an odd thing to do in anime. All of Madoka's classmates had a different color of hair. Well, not from each other. I know specifically there's that girl that has the same colored hair as Sayaka. That threw me off at the beginning. It's like, oh, is Sayaka, like, cozying up to Akemi? And it's like, no, that's a different girl. Look, here's the thing, is that I read your comment before I took my notes. I don't have any notes about hair colors or anything. It's just that I read your comment before I took my notes, and then when I'm rewatching the episode taking my notes, I'm like, huh, nobody else does have black hair. I don't, same thing as what you put down. I don't have any idea of anything significant about it, other than to make Akemi other, right? So, I don't think there would be any read into that I could do other than the fact that this show is full of mysteries that just don't jive with me very well. Like, again, the weird language that I can't figure out. Like, y'all have told me what it meant, and I guess there's an element that you guys told me what the pop-ups were, that there were names. And if I had done my due diligence, I could have gone back and like, okay, I know that's Emily, or, example name. And I could have like done letter replacement. But the thing is, last episode, when the text came up on screen, it's like, okay, does that say magical girl? No, that's not enough letters. Does that the person's name? No, that doesn't fit either. And it's like, I can't figure it out on my own. I think I may be too stupid. Or it might be the level beyond effort that I normally give. Like when it came to Crest of the Stars, figuring out the language that was there. It's like, okay, I could do the letter substitution. That's fine. But it also turns out you have to do letter substitution and figure out their language. They've got their own language that has just different characters. It's like, ah, damn it, this is a level beyond me. So maybe that's where I'm at with that. When it comes to the bodies, yeah, I guess I just didn't consider that. The element in me is that I'm a contrarian, and my want to is to argue this point. But fair enough. I think you're right here. This just seems true. The element that we did see Sayaka's body get hurled, but even then they had to carry it through a labyrinth area and then deposit it outside of that. So I guess that is right. So yeah, as I said, got notes. So Akemi has a heart condition. More than that, she's been leaving the hospital early to get at Madoka earlier before Kyobi can turn her into a magical girl. I have to assume that she's not so bad off, that leaving just a little earlier when you were already going to be released is going to be the thing that ramps up that condition to eventually kill her. But I do very much feel like that's going to be a thing. It's a Chekhov's gun for the story now. Akemi has a weakness as of yet unexploited. Actually, update to the note, she was scheduled to leave the hospital on the 16th anyways. She shows up to the school early, which has nothing to do with leaving the hospital early. I will say, though, still existing heart condition. So, possibility that's what happens. This likely means nothing, but when Madoka is taking Akemi to the nurse's office, the people in the rooms and hallways all stop to gawk at Akemi and Madoka as they walk. That seems like a very strange reaction, considering that it never really seems to happen any other time we see the kids in the school. Although, not for nothing, to my, episode 1 note about how all the classrooms' walls are glass, it's exactly what I said would probably happen anytime anybody in any classroom does anything. People don't call me by my first name very often. Don't worry, Akemi. I haven't for 10 episodes and will likely continue not to for the next 2. I have no clue what grade these kids are. I always think that they are younger than they seem to be. The math work on the board this episode was binomial expansion, which would be a senior high school thing. However, the problem on the board requires the use of Fermat's little theorem to solve, which is college-level numbers theory. I mean, maybe that's the thing being expressed, is that things are getting more and more complex as they go, and the math on the board is meant to express that to us. So it seems that even Mamie was preparing for the Walpurgis. The scene where she brings it up seems to be a week after the show originally started, given that Madoka says she's been a magical girl for about a week now. And assumedly Akemi gets out of the hospital a week early to stop that from happening, making that the new starting point of her story. A new starting point from the perspective that the first part of episode 10 would actually have been in a chronological narrative, the first moment of the story. Like, you know how I love to watch these chronologically, even if that means putting the series out of order. If I were to have done that with any sort of foreknowledge of how this stuff actually worked, technically we would have watched episode 10 from, I don't know, the first 75% of it, and then went back to episode 1, and then watched, the very back half of episode 10 in the episode 10 slot, and I guess moved on. I believe Akemi's actual wish was, I wish you could have lived instead of saving someone like me. Well, seems pretty obvious that the monkey's paw in that wish will be, the way to save Madoka is for Akemi to die. And just a little listing of the timelines to keep everything in mind. Timeline number 1, Madoka becomes a magical girl, trains under Mami. Mami and Madoka die fighting the Walpurgis. Akemi becomes a magical girl and goes back to the start. Timeline number 2, Akemi joins up with Madoka and Mami, learns how to make bombs. Mami dies at some point, Madoka becomes a witch. Timeline number 3, Akemi warns the group, Madoka, Mami, and Sayaka this time, about Kyobi. Sayaka seems antagonistic to Kyokyo, implying her presence. Sayaka turns into a witch and Kyokyo helps the fight against her. Akemi kills witch Sayaka. Mami kills Kyokyo in grief over the realization that they will become witches. Madoka kills Mami, defending Akemi. Akemi and Madoka defeat the Walpurgis, but lay dying together. Madoka sacrifices her last grief seed to save Akemi and becomes a witch, but not before asking Akemi to go back and change how it all goes down. Actually, I think I got that wrong. She doesn't become a witch. I think Akemi shoots her on her ask. Timeline number 4, Akemi approaches Madoka outside her window a week early and tells her not to succumb to the temptation of a miracle. Also kills one of the Kyobis outside, which I guess is where the initial wish Madoka made would have happened that week earlier. Then Akemi gets out of the hospital. She hunts all of the witches herself, fights the Walpurgis herself and fails. Kyobi tricks Madoka into making a wish. Madoka defeats the Walpurgis and becomes a terrible witch. And I've labeled this one as Timeline 5+, as it's either the current timeline or one of the many that's happened since the start. Feels like it's implied to be the current one, but Akemi's speech would also imply that this is just one of many. And my final note here is that, and the OP plays at the end, because despite it being a visual of Madoka, the lyrics would heavily imply it's from Akemi's perspective. So the opening is actually about Akemi's trying to save Madoka. So I think my initial opening lyric breakdown was almost entirely correct, except for the element of it was about Akemi, right? I didn't know who the point of view character from that was, so that was my mistake there. Or not mistake, I just didn't know. Either way, though, that's my notes. We covered the comment. We didn't have a board, really, to go over, so let's go ahead and hop on in and see what we get.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
She defeated entropy, as Kyobi says. Does it answer that?
魔法少女としての潜在力はね、背負い込んだ因果の量で決まってくる。一国の女王や救世主ならともかく、ごく平凡な人生だけを与えられてきた。
So I'm trying to read his words, but at the same time, it's like, does the layout of the room mean something too?
だが、ねえ、ホムラ。ひょっとしてマドカは君が同じ時間を繰り返すことに強力な魔法少女になっていったんじゃないのかい？
Does that matter, though, if Akemi's whole purpose is to prevent her from becoming a magical girl?
正しくは君の魔法の副作用と言うべきかな。どういうことよ。君が時間を巻き戻してきた理由はただ一つ。要マドカの安否だ。同じ理由と目的で何度も時間を遡るうちに、君はいくつもの平行世界を螺旋状に束ねてしまったんだろう。要マドカの存在を中心軸にしてね。 その結果決して絡まるはずのなかった平行世界の因果線が全て今の時間軸のまどかに連結されてしま
What am
っ
I
たと
doing?
したら
I'm listening to to Kilby, forgetting for a moment that Kilby's a liar and a manipulator.
君が繰り返してきた時間、その中で循環した因果の全てが巡り巡って要まどかに繋がってしまったんだ。あらゆる出来事の元凶としてね。
I don't think it matters.
お手柄だよ、ホムラ。君がまどかを最強の魔女に
This is Kilby's only weapon against you, is his words. Don't worry. Unfortunately, I think it's getting to Akemi, so Akemi's going to think it's true and act on it. But, again, at the end of the day, Kilby's only ability is to manipulate. Ironically, it makes me think of a book series that I love called Incarnations of Immortality, which features, incarnations like time, death, war, nature, but also God and Satan. And in that series, Satan's only power is literally words. He has the power to control demons and whatnot because the demons believe that he has the power to destroy them. And he only has the power to destroy them because they believe so. So in that aspect, it feels like Kilby is the devil. In so much, again, that Kilby manipulates and lies all the time. So, I do not believe anything Kilby says here. But again, to what I said before, I don't think it matters. Akemi's whole purpose is to make sure that Madoka does not become a magical girl. So the idea that she becomes a stronger magical girl every time doesn't matter, because she's not going to become a magical girl. You had a nice name for Sayaka yet.
発見現場にも争った痕跡がないことから、警察では事件と事故の両面で捜査を進めています。
Yeah, not the greatest way to just leave her dead.
今夜は北西の風がやや強く雨。
I don't know how you would do it. I guess you could just leave a sign of maybe she got sick and died. I don't know how you would do it.
なあ、まどか。さやかちゃんの件、本当に何も知らないんだな。うん。
She knows something's up, but clearly, there's no way she would know anything, really.
意外な展開ではないよ。予兆はずいぶん前からあった。
どうでもいいっていうの。みんなあなたのせいで死んだようなものなのに。
例えば君は家畜に対して引け目を感じたりするかい?
Yeah, I was to say, Kilby asked you if you wanted to sacrifice yourself for... Oh, it's the alien language. Yeah, but also, like the Akemi future. Sorry, I like this dark forest metaphor we're going with.
君たちは皆理想的な共栄関係にあるじゃないか。
同じだって言いたいの。
むしろ僕らは人類が家畜を扱うよりも。
I feel like this is a modern adaptation. Madoka would say, but I'm a vegan.
知的生命体と認めた上で交渉しているんだしね。信じられないのかい？それなら見せてあげようか。インキュベーターと人類が共に歩んできた歴史を。
I was gonna say in the future where Madoka became a witch, Kilby did not care what happened to humanity afterwards.
僕たちはね、有史以前
Who the fuck was that princess?
数えきれないほど大勢の少女がインキュベーターと契約し、希望を叶え、そして絶望に身を委ねていった。祈りから始まり、呪いで終わる。これまで あまたの魔法少女たちが繰り返してきたサイクルだ。中には歴史に転機をもたら
That's
し
Joan of Arc?
社会を新しいステージへと導いた子もいた。
Yeah, it's Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc was a witch? I mean, that crosses now Madoka with fate.
彼女たちを裏切ったのは僕たちではなく、むしろ自分自身の祈りだよ。どんな希望もそれが条理にそぐわないものである限り、必ず何らかの歪みを生み出すことになる。やがてそこから最悪が生じるのは当然の摂理だ。そんな当たり前の結末を
So it's also kind of funny to me that the incubators are the opposite of the Federation.
でも愚かとは言わないよ。彼女たちの犠牲によって人の歴史が紡がれてきたこともまた事実だし。そうやって過去に流された全ての涙を礎にして、今の君たちの暮らしは成り立っているんだよ。
It's a good metaphor. I mean, it fucking sucks and I hate it, but
どうして
it's
今さら
apt.
たかだか数人の運命だけを特別視できるんだい？
ずっとあの子たちを見守りながら、あなたは何も感じなかったの。みんながどんなに辛かったか分かってあげようとしなかったの。
それが僕たちに理解できたなら、わざわざこんな星まで来なくても済んだんだけどね。僕たちの文明では感情という現象は極めて稀な精神疾患でしかなかった。だから君たち人類を発見した時は驚いた
They're
よ。
weird
全ての
animal
個体が
Vulcans.
別個に感情を持ちながら共存している世界なんて想像だにしなかったからね。
もしもあなたたちがこの星に来てなかったら。
君たちは今でも
Yeah, I mean, they kind of showed us the ape man humans as like the first thing that came.
教え子とこういう別れ方って
Playing they've been here as long as we have. Almost.
事情がはっきりしないっていうのがまたね。3年生にも一人行方不明の子がいるし、職員会議はしっちゃかめっちゃかよ。何もわからないのか、やっぱり。さやかちゃんね、友達と恋愛絡みでちょっといろいろあったらしいの。その子もかなりダメージ
Oh, it's gonna hit her too, isn't it?
普通なら
I mean, I recognize this is the teacher, but I mean, the other girl is gonna think that Sayaka did this because of
警察は家出の挙句に衰弱死って線で決着つけちゃうみたい。手がかり何もないしね。まどかちゃんはどう？わかんねえ。
Oh, I didn't realize the teacher knew the mother.
じゃあ何か知ってる様子ではあるんだ。でも嘘をついてるようにも見えねえ。初めてなんだよ。あいつの本音を見抜けないなんて。情けねえよな、自分の娘だってのに。純子が弱音を吐くなんてね。近頃妙だな。
I guess it makes sense because she was giving advice and asking about her before. So,
いつまで経っても私に相談してこねえ。ちった頼りにされてるって思ってたのにさ。あの年頃の子供はね、ある日いきなり大人になっちゃったりするものよ。親にとってはショックだろうけど。そういうもんか。信じてあげるしかないわね。今まどかちゃんに必要なのは気持ちを整理する時間だろうから、しばらくは待ってあげないと。
I don't know, I feel like that's probably the wrong advice here.
そういうところで要領悪いの相変わらずよね、純子は。
What a poignant image for this scene, or I guess even the episode.
入っていいかな。
You know, probably something that Akemi hasn't tried before.
これが
Just telling Madoka what's happening.
京子ちゃんが言ってた。
Literally the time
一
loops,
人
I
で
mean.
倒せないほど強い魔女をやっつけるために小村ちゃんと二人で戦うんだって。ずっとここで準備してたのね。街中が危ないの。
今までの魔女と違って、こいつは結界に隠れて身を守る必要なんてない。ただ一度具現しただけでも何千人という人が犠牲になるわ。相変わらず普通の人には見えないから、被害は地震とか竜巻とかそういった大災害として誤解されるだけ。
なら絶対にやっつけなきゃダメだよね。京子ちゃんも
I guess Madoka wouldn't question the extra luminal space, considering all the labyrinths she's been so far.
だったら一人で十分よ。さくら京子には無理でも、私なら一人でワルプルギスの夜を撃退できる。京子の援護も本当は必要なかったの。ただ彼女の顔を立ててあげただけ。
Okay, making sure that Madoka doesn't show up there, because you've seen her make a wish once there before already.
私、オムラちゃんのこと信じたいのに、嘘つきだなんて思いたくないのに、全然大丈夫だって気持ちになれない。オムラちゃんの言ってることが本当だって思えない。
本当の気持ちなんて伝えられるわけない。
Okay, it's not a look of anger, it's a grimace. She hates seeing Madoka cry. I have to think that's the case.
私はまどかと違う時間を生きてるんだもの。
Like I said, just come out with it. Say it all. There's like no time travel rules at play here.
私ね、未来から
There we go.
何度も何度もまどかと出会って、それと同じ回数だけあなたが死ぬところを見てきたの。どうすればあなたが助かるのか、どうすれば運命を変えられるのか、その答えだけを探して何度も初めからやり直して。それってごめんね。
Yeah, and I think a normal person would focus on the element of I'm gonna die.
まどかにとっての私は出会ってからまだ1ヶ月も経ってない転校生でしかないものね。だけど私にとってのあなたは繰り返せば繰り返すほどあなたと私が過ごした時間はずれていく。気持ちもずれて言葉も通じなくなっていく。多分私はもうとっくに迷子になっちゃってたんだと思う。
I mean, again, the trick might. Well, no, actually, you tried that before. Never mind.
あなたを救う。それが私の最初の気持ち。今となってはたった一つだけ最後に残った道しるべ。わからなくてもいい。何も伝わらなくてもいい。それでもどうかお願いだから、あなたを私に守らせて。
It's still not the greatest timeline to be successful in. But then again, if all you care about is Madoka.
ラインがとんでもない勢いで分裂と回転を起こしています。明らかにスーパーセルの前兆です。直ちに避難指示の発令を。本日午前7時。
Again, for me though, it's just like I would prefer a world where Mami, Sayaka, Madoka, Akemi, you know, all of them survived at the end, not just Madoka. Ah, you better not fucking do anything to this fucking family. That kid is too fucking adorable for something bad happened to him. Again, past Madoka was able to take it out in one shot. Are those familiars? Does the Walpurgis spawn familiars? Or is the Walpurgis a circus? Well, it's a traveling circus. That would make sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. Just in the context of the show.
決着をつけてやる。
I I guess fair enough, she could stop time. She could have raided a military base. And not aided by the laughter, because I don't know if they're not hurting it, or if it's too insane to know it's hurt. Real Bruce Willis move, that one. I guess Kemi really did hijack a military base. In fairness, I would have to think that's basically the limit of what you'd be capable of doing. Oh, fuck. Shadow clones of past dead magic girls?
どうしたマドカ？
ちょっとトイレ。ホムラちゃんが一人でも勝てるっていうのは本当？
それを否定したとして、君は僕のことを
Yeah, don't trust Kyobi. In fact, don't talk to Kyobi.
今さら言葉にして解くまでもない。その目で見届けてあげるといい。ワルプルギスを前にして、明美ホムラがどこまでやれるか。
どうしてそうまでして戦うの？
彼女がまだ希望を求めているからさ。いざとなればこの時間軸もまた無意にしてホムラは戦い続けるだろう。何度でも証拠りもなくこの無意味な連鎖を繰り返すんだろう。
I have to think that the ability to nullify timelines should be of more interest to Kyobi's race than this whole thing.
何もかもが無駄だったと決してマドカの運命を変えられないと確信したその瞬間に明美ホムラは絶望に負けてグリウシードへと変わるだろう。彼女自身も分かってるんだ。だから選択肢なんてない。勝ち目のあるなしに関わらずホムラは戦うしかないんだよ。
希望を持つ限り
So stubbornness is the real solution to becoming a witch.
過去のすべての魔法少女たちと同じだよ。マドカ、君だって一緒に見ただろう。
どこ行こうってんだ、おい。
Also, I didn't realize that they were at their house.
友達を助けに行く。
Are they at their
消防署
house?
に任せ
I thought they were like at a gym or something.
素人が動くな。
私でなきゃダメなの。
てめえ一人のための命じゃねえんだ。な、そういう勝手やらかして、あれがどれだけ
シール。私にもよくわかる。私だってママのことパパのこと大好きだから。どんなに大切にしてもらってるか。
They're not gonna mention your little brother?
自分を粗末にしちゃいけないの。わかる。だから違うの。みんな大事で絶対に守らなきゃいけないから。そのためにも私今すぐ行かなきゃいけないところがあるの。
理由は説明できねえってか。なら私も連れて行け。
ダメ。
I mean, normal people would see it.
達也のそばにいて二人を安心させてあ
They
げて。
covered that already. The Walpurgis can be seen by normal people.
ママはさ、私がいい子に育ったって言ってくれたよね。嘘もつかない、悪いこともしないって。今でもそう信じてくれる。私を正しいと思ってくれる。
絶対に下手打ったりしないな。誰かの嘘に踊らされてねえな。
Don't do that.
ありがとう、ママ。
One dark timeline away from her falling down the stairs and cracking her neck. Yeah, this is like the ending credits with the shadows reaching out to Madoka last time. Except those were clearly, you know, the other magical girls. But again, when you rewind, you just wake back up in that bed.
何度やってもあいつに勝てない。繰り返せばそれだけまどかの因果が増える。
Which is non-existent if she doesn't become a magical girl. What I say, Kyobi's greatest weapon is his words. Because he wants them to become witches. So in this, he's achieving his goal. Would she keep her power if she became a witch? Would she be a time-traveling witch? I mean, there's only one episode left. It has to be the resolution of what happens when Madoka makes the wish. Although, again, we've seen that before. She makes the wish. She kills the, Walpurgis in one go. Oh, this is literally the ending I was talking about a second ago. She kills the Walpurgis in one hit and immediately becomes a witch. A mountain-sized witch. I mean, unless we were implying something else by the dark shadow in the background. I have no clue, but I guess the idea is that Madoka hasn't experienced stuff like this before. In the previous one, she made a wish in the moment, and that was the result of that wish. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be the difference of what she wishes for. Like, we don't know what she wished for the previous time, where she became the most powerful magical girl and the most terrible witch, right? She could do the Sayaka thing and make a wish specifically for Akemi. Though I'm not sure what that would actually accomplish. Also, the element that Akemi has been powering her up this whole time.
希望を抱くのが間違いだなんて言われたら、私そんなのは違うって何度でもそう言い返せます。
Okay, Superman.
言い張れます。私の最高の友達。
I mean, I guess she could wish that all of her friends were back and that nobody died, right? And then in which case, you'd have the entire group there to fight the Walpurgis, like the original hope was for. I mean, I don't know how successful that would be, considering we just saw Akemi's effort, and Akemi's effort was off the wall and still failed. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the last episode's a giant battle episode where we pull out a Symphogear style insanity ending, right? I guess the idea is also I just don't know what the OVAs are about, and I don't know what the other series that I keep talking about would be about. So from that aspect, I don't know if it would go beyond the ending of this show or if it would go back and explore other stuff. I guess that's a bit of a meta thought to consider. Either way, I don't think the primary concern of this episode is a concern to me, which is to say, the idea that every time Akemi goes back, she basically increases the burden on Madoka, because the burden on Madoka only exists if she becomes a magical girl, which shouldn't happen, because that's what Akemi is trying to prevent. And I know the idea here is that Madoka is just about to become a magical girl, so I guess from that aspect, it's a thing. But I mean, to tell Akemi that, it should not be a concern that weighs down Akemi's mind, because Akemi's whole goal is don't become a magical girl. Or Madoka, don't become a magical girl. So from that aspect, but again, I'm not somebody who's gone through like 100 different rewinds, so my mind on this matter is more of a fresh start, so I don't know. That said, though, I don't really have much else to say here. It was a really good episode, and yeah, I mean, I'll probably have more notes than I do thoughts right now, so we'll come back with notes then. Otherwise, I have been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?